Hello everyone, Rabito Famino once again. Today we are going to have a very important conversation, and I'm going to try to translate this in Twi, Ghanaian language Twi, and also my native language Ga. I'm going to translate this conversation in these two languages. That's because I want people to understand what we are doing, because it's very easy for people to judge and make decisions and have conversations, but you need to understand my thought process. So if you're watching this anywhere in Africa, I want to hear what you think about it. If you're watching in Ghana as well, please let me know what you think. But the bonus point is, if you're watching in Ghana, then you're going to see this video in both Twi and Ga. I'm going to try to translate this conversation in those two countries. So let's go. So I've been going on about breeding for breeders, and I think it's something that people might not really understand. Calm down, baby. Calm down. Might not understand what I mean by breeding for breeders. If you go through my videos, I've got a lot of videos on the breeding and the way I started. And I've been hammering on the fact that, when I was getting my breed, it was very difficult for me to get the history of what I'm getting and know what I'm getting in order for me to be able to, produce the required rabbit for farming. Okay, remember, this is farming, and it's different from when you want to keep a pet. Yes, of course, every rabbit is a rabbit, but if you're doing it as a farm, just as our local chicken cannot be used as broiler, when you go to any of the supermarkets, you will not get any of our local chickens there as broiler that they are selling, dressed bed that they're selling. And it's you'll have to start thinking that way about the rabbit farming, and this is the reason why I keep hammering on you getting the right breed so that you get the required weight within the required time. Now I'm going to explain further, because I keep going on about breeding stock. There's difference between breeding stock. Are you tired? You're not happy? Okay, let me put it back. It's fine. I'll put it back, baby. All right. There you go. Sorry about that. So when I talk about breeding stock, now breeding stock is when you have to treat them almost like pets. They are your parent stock. They are the ones that are going to keep breeding for you, producing for you, and therefore you have to treat them totally different from the way you would treat your broiler rabbits. Like, when I say broiler, I mean the broiler, the rabbits that you're producing for meat. And that's where you have to draw the fine line. Am I going to feed it the same formula for it to get bigger quicker, or am I going to feed it for it to be stronger for the long duration? Because my breeding stock, I intend to keep them as long as their lifespan. Even when I decommission them and I decide, or we decide, that we're not going to use them for breeding again, we'll give them that respect, and we're going to treat them as like, the parents. They're going to be there and until they are dead, and we bury them. No one is going to touch them. They are breeding stock. And you sort of have to think like that, because if you don't treat them as breeding stock, you're going to feed them what you feed all the broiler, and which the ones you want them to get bigger within the short period. You're feeding them the same feed. What is happening there is they're going to get bigger and bloated quicker. Now that's all right with the broiler, because with a broiler, of course, you want them to get bigger quicker for you to get your returns and sell them and process them as meat, you know. So we have to think like businessmen, okay? I know we're going on about rabbit farming is prolific and this and that, but until you start thinking, changing your thought process about which one you're keeping as broilers and which ones you're keeping as your breeding stock, you will never get it wrong, and you get complications, okay? Because there are some factors that need to be addressed. Number one, the weight, okay? Your breeding stocks, you don't want them to be overweight. You don't want them to be too heavy, because when they are too heavy, they are not able to breed. For instance, the males are not able to breed the way they should, and of course the females are too obese, so they cannot even carry pregnancy. So there is a repercussion there if you don't consider what you feed them and how big they get. Now, I made a video, my last video with our outgoers, and yeah, we've got some comments that I would like to address. The thing is, I have always said, this phase of the project, I want to spread love. I want to breed for breeders, okay? I've always been saying I'm breeding for breeders, okay? We are not focusing on the meat market yet, because the experience I went through changed my perception and changed my plan, so that I will be able to give new breeders, new rabbit farmers, the best shot of them starting better than the way I did. There is no selfishness there. Of course, it's still a business. Of course, I'm still want to make some profit at some point, but at this phase, I'm more focusing on breeding for breeders. Therefore, if you see a rabbit that is, excuse me, the noise, helicopter flying above, we have different feed formulations, and we have toiled and played with the feed that we use, and I've come to, I think we are at a very, very comfortable positions where the feed we are feeding our breeds is not making them overweight. I'm using that word, overweight, as breeders, okay? So the formulation has been formulated. It's not pellets, it's the same formulation that we use in Africa for now, but we have added some ingredients and removed some ingredients so they don't get big quicker. And that's because what we are doing this phase is mainly for breeders. I'm stressing on that because I want you to understand. The rabbits we got in the farm, if we want them to get closer to 2 kilograms or above within 12 months, we are able to achieve it. I want to assure you, we will be able to achieve that weight. But then we sell it to you, a new farmer, and they are overweight, and it becomes a problem for you. So we are maintaining, if they are between 1.5 and 1.8 kg at age 3 months and above, that is fine. But those breeds we have, the hybrids and the pure breed, if you feed them what those who are targeting the meat market are feeding them, they will get bigger. I am sure they will get bigger faster than the local ones. So it's really depend on the feed, and you have to think like, what are you doing it for? You know, if once we get to the meat market, which we haven't got yet, because I'm focusing on breeding for breeders, we will be able to change the feed or tweak the feed and feed our broilers differently, and that is where the weight will come in. I thought I will explain in order for you to understand that the weight you're seeing there is controlled weight. Our biggest buck, which is Franco is between 3 and 3.5 kg. All right, if we feed Franco broiler pellets, probably Franco will be 4 to 5 kg. But then, is Franco going to be able to work? Is it going to be able to perform, like breed in the way we want him to breed? No, because he will be overweight. He won't be bothered to do his business. He will be concentrating on eating and getting big. And that's where you have to understand their genetics means they get big. Let's make this analogy, like you compare it to human beings, right? You eat and you don't train, and somebody eats the same quantity of food you eat and they are training. Obviously, because they are training, they will not get as big as you, because you're not doing anything with what you're eating. Again, because they are training, they will require certain nutrition, because they are burning a lot. They are using they need to replenish the muscles and the tightness, so they need specific vitamins and specific proteins in order for them to boost, to replenish them, and they're definitely going to be stronger. They don't have to eat as much as you, but when they're eating specific nutritions, it makes their muscles stronger and it gives them that strength that they need. So I just want to clarify that the weight, yes, is only an issue when you're doing it for as a broiler. Our target is at the moment breeding it for breeders, and we don't want to sell broiler type rabbits to new breeders. Just thought I will explain that for everyone to understand. If you're watching this, please subscribe, and as I promised, you're gonna get the Ghana version and the tree version. I'm gonna try to release all three at the same time, so feel free to scan through. Thank you very much for everyone who have been following us. Without you, there won't be any Rabito Famino. We've passed the 1,000 subscriber mark, and that's because of you. So I thank you so much. I want you to understand that I'm doing these for you, and the plan is to make sure I encourage and help as many people as possible along the way. Of course, give you as much education. Yes, we started not too long. Someone may be doing it for 10-20 years, but if they don't want to share their knowledge with you, you're not going to get it. I'm here to share with you, and I'm taking my farm as a role model. When I get problems, I come and share with you. When I have issues, I share with you so that you understand. But I also need your suggestions. I need you to get engaged. It's not just me. It's about what you're doing in your farm or your suggestions, and then we can derive more videos from it. Rabito Famino is not just for me, it's for me and you. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so I'm going to do the Ghana version.